Good morning, everyone, and thanks for staying with us. Well, we're here today with Greg Nicola. He is a tattoo artist from San Diego.
I am.
You are. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to drive all the way here to Marietta and do this cool interview.
Not a problem.
You live in Temecula, is that correct?
I do. Just moved.
You're very close to the wine district. It's absolutely beautiful out there.
It
Nature,
is
you know, you see the
definitely
vineyards and you see the clear skies. Do you find some of your inspiration to do your tattoos from nature?
I do, actually. Now, I've been doing this for close to 16, 17 years now, since '93. And when I first started, I didn't. But the more I got into just art in itself, aside from tattooing, nature definitely does play a role, and Temecula's got some beautiful sunrises.
So you've been an artist your whole life, since you were a little boy?
Pretty close to it. My grandmother, as I was growing up, who used to watch me quite often, we'd go over to her house and she'd have this huge bin of crayons and a stack of coloring books.
I think they all do.
She taught me how to stay inside the lines, and ever since then, you know, I guess I really took it to heart.
I really love some of this little artwork you have going on there.
Thank you.
I don't know. It looks so intricate, most of it. What is this one right over here?
This is my alien theme. I think a lot of people have different themes and thoughts for why it is that they have a tattoo.
Right.
My thing with the aliens was just a little bit more of a connection that there's more out there for everybody. We're always searching for something, whether it's religion or something to grow up to be. And for me, I would love to just be able to advance. Always advance. And I think that's just the thing with the aliens that caught my eye, you know. They're so advanced, you know.
They're so advanced.
They're the next us.
They're next us. Is that what you really think? Perhaps we are aliens as well to them.
We are. I mean, you look back in the day when laser guns were just in cartoons, and now we really have them, you know. Are we? So,
hey,
what are we advancing to?
We can talk about that in a different segment.
We can.
And let me ask you, when did you start tattooing? Is it something that just happened, or did you go to school for it? How did it all happen?
I fell into it. I ended up, when I was in high school, they were starting to take everything from drafting tables to computers. I graduated in '93, and in '92, they started taking everything out of the art class that I loved about art. I loved to go and express myself and escape from reality and put it on paper. When the computers came in, I just didn't feel computer savvy, so I decided to continue doing my artwork with something that was hands-on, something that I can stretch out with, you know, and tattooing was a field that came across.
Was your definitely it?
Yeah, you know, I got into it, and when I first got into it, I just found that there was no parade wave to it. There was no feeling like I needed to impress anybody. It felt like it was a free life. It was a handshake. It was an open environment. I didn't have to dress up to go to work. I could be myself. I can speak how I wanted to speak. And so with all that put together, with the art talent along with that, I was like, I'm not going anywhere else. So.
What about those people who believe that people who have a lot of tattoos, maybe a full sleeve, they are, you know, criminals, or they must be, you know, crazy, hardcore people, thug life and stuff like that? It
is a bad stigma. I've been fighting this stigma since the beginning of the time that I've started tattooing, and I'll tell you, from the beginning of when I tattooed till now, times have changed completely. It used to be a huge percentage of only males that got tattooed, and not so often is family members or females.
Right.
Okay, now the times have changed, and it's completely reversed. You don't have as many of the hardcore guys coming in getting the tattoos anymore, but the stigma stayed, and it's really hard to, like, eliminate that. But with time, it will, and I'm going to keep pushing for it to have better customer service, a better environment for people when they come in and get tattooed, make it a little bit more of a studio than a shop feel to it. You don't have to come in and be rebellious to get a tattoo anymore. A lot of people come in and they've lost somebody, like a child or a good friend, and they want to, you know, moralize that on their body for the rest of their life. So, you know, I'd rather do stuff like that for people and them have a little bit more inspiration with their tattoo than a rebellion and then decide 10 years later, God, I should never have done this, or I need to cover it up now. So
absolutely. You were telling me that you've done some studies, and you came across that about 70% of our population has something done on their bodies, whether it's a piercing or
I did, yeah.
whatever it may be.
Yeah, I wanted to get into people's minds, not only just for artwork and not just to tattoo them just for the money. I wanted to get to know people for who they are and what they wanted to express before putting something on their body. Because I have a lot of tattoos that I look back and I go, you know, I probably shouldn't have done this because I jumped to it. And now I can help out people with making the right decision. With that, I like to ask people and talk to people about what it is that brings them to me and what it is that they like about it. Throughout that time, I found out there's a huge amount of people out there that most people don't even know have a tattoo or a body modification, like a piercing or something. And I came up with about 75% of the population over the age of 18 has a tattoo or body modification.
So, if I were to go searching for you, asking you to perhaps, you know, do a tattoo on my body, what are the things that I should be looking for? Are there any, like, regulations, any permits that I should be looking for? Like, I know you need a business permit and all that stuff.
Definitely.
But as far as, you know, sanitation and health requirements and, you know, making sure that everything at your studio is up to standards, what it is that I need to look for?
Yeah. Well, with any tattoo studio or shop, as of right now, they shouldn't even be open if they don't have the permits. There's no way that you can walk into a studio and they not have the proper equipment or the proper documents to tattoo. But yeah, everything's individually wrapped. That's something you're going to want to look for. You want to watch them set up. Basically, what I do is I have you fill out a form. It kind of gives me a little bit of a background around, behind what it is that you've done for the past 24 hours. If you've drank, if you have any medications that are going to weaken or thin your blood. Then I bring you back to the station. I set up in front of you so you can see everything getting set up. But yeah, definitely individually wrapped packages and a sterile environment. I mean, you can tell when somebody's negligent to their area. So
that's very important. I mean, there are so many places, even the ER, that it's not. Sometimes it's not even very safe, right?
I find myself, now that I've gone through it and I've been questioned so often, I kind of go up and over as much as I can. But yeah, I'll take my kids into the emergency room and I look at the seats and I go, they're cloth seats and they have carpet and wood handles and it's all absorbent. And how are they not being closed down by OSHA or something like that, you know? And yet we get harassed or questioned quite often when they come into our studio, not noticing that everything is vinyl and leather and everything's wipeable and clean. Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, it's a little different of when people come and they question me. I feel a little offended, but at the same time, I like to give them the knowledge and the comfort zone that...
Yeah, but, you know, you got to understand that they are concerned about their health.
Correct.
I mean,
yeah. We've had a few people, the first time that they come in, I think the more scared that they are, the more addictive they become to the tattoo after their first tattoo experience.
Wow. I might not be a very good client. It might get expensive.
Yes, it can be expensive, which most studios run about $100 an hour.
Wow.
And the majority of tattoos these days take between 2 and 3 hours to do a piece the size of, like, you know, a fist or a full-size hand. It takes about 3 hours to do.
What about is it called a gun or is it a machine that you use to do the tattoos?
I prefer it to be a machine.
Okay. What is this machine? Is it a needle? A whole
what the
bunch
machine
of needles?
is it's a magnetic and electronic pulse. There's magnets that are on the bottom, and there's a spark on the top that shoves the armature bar down, and the magnet shoves it back. So you get a repelling motion with the machine. Then there's a tube. Some tubes are disposable, some are made of metal, and you can re-autoclave those tubes. And then there's needles. All needles should be disposed of. We have biohazard throwaways. So all that gets put together in the machine, and then the machine gets taken apart and clean.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I never knew that. I feel a little better now knowing there's a whole bunch of needles poking me.
Yeah, you're not going to come into a room, you know, with Rottweilers, and, you know, I could have my ZZ Top beard, and, I mean, that's the stigma, but at the same time, you know, that's where a lot of tattooing did come from, and the stigma has taken years to dissipate. But with the TV shows and all that, you know,
slowly but surely, you guys will get there. You know, it will be more looked at as a art form rather
Yes.
than anything else.
Yes.
And, well, thank you so much, Greg, for coming in.
Not a problem.
It's been a pleasure.
Well, it was fun. It was fun.
It was absolutely fun. We'll be right back right after the break.